Why has the Z-8D helicopter attracted so much attention? When photos of the new helicopter, painted in navy gray and white with a 3-digit number printed on the fuselage, were circulated on the internet, military observers were keenly aware that China's naval aviation was about to usher in an important point in the upgrading of its equipment. This yet-to-be-finalized helicopter not only carries the Chinese aviation industry for more than 40 years of heavy accumulation of technology, but also heralds the PLA amphibious combat capability is about to realize a qualitative leap. The beginning of China's helicopter industry can be traced back to the copying of the Soviet Mi-4 in the 1960s, but the aging platform and technical limitations of the Z-5 series have always constrained the force's development. The turnaround came in the window of technology exchange with the West in the 1980s, when the introduction of the French SA-321 Super Wasp not only filled the gap of medium-sized transport helicopters, but also made its localized product, the Z-8, the starting point of independent innovation. However, this road is full of thorns. Early Z-8, constrained by the turboshaft engine power, cabin design and other problems, plateau performance and carrying capacity are inferior to the same period of imported Russian Mi-17 series, leading to the PLA long-term reliance on imported models. This can be used but not satisfactory, embarrassing situation lasted until the 2010s. Z-8G plateau type and Z-8L wide-body type came out to achieve a breakthrough, the former through the replacement of the PT-6B67 engine to solve the bottleneck of plateau power. The latter will be the cabin width expanded to 2.36 meters, can carry Bobcat assault vehicles and other light equipment, so that the Army Aviation Corps for the first time to obtain the mechanization of the air delivery capability. But the Navy's needs were never fully met. The current Z-8C solves the basic needs of shipboard transportation, but the original cabin width of 1.9 meters can only transport personnel, cannot carry light combat vehicles, which in modern amphibious operations means that the effectiveness of the delivery of the major defect 075 type amphibious assault ship with a wide flight deck and 071 type dock landing ship 3-dimensional delivery capability are in urgent need of matching transport helicopters to release the full potential of the operation. The Z-8D is designed to address this pain point, and the technical details under its navy gray paint job hint at significant improvements. It may refer to the wide-body design of the Z-8L to expand cargo volume, while strengthening the landing gear structure for the maritime environment, optimizing corrosion protection, and even introducing tail beam folding technology to adapt to the space constraints of the ship. The 3-digit fuselage numbering system reveals that the Z-8L is in the final testing stage before finalization, and the direct use of combat unit paint shows that the aircraft has completed the main technical validation and is about to move into mass production. In terms of technology, the Z-8 series has gradually shaken off the traces of earlier imitations and formed a technical route with Chinese characteristics. The maximum takeoff weight of the latest model has been raised to 15 tons, and the carrying capacity has broken through the 5-ton threshold, with key indicators gradually approaching those of the advanced medium helicopters such as the European A101. This evolution is not only thanks to the breakthrough of domestic turboshaft engine, early reliance on Canadian PT-6B engine situation has been replaced by turboshaft 9/10 series, but also reflects the application of composite materials and avionics system integration progress. Z-8D, if successfully finalized, will realize the naval transport helicopter from the personnel delivery to equipment delivery leap, so that amphibious combat helicopters and the helicopter will be the most powerful helicopter in the world. If the Z-8D is successfully finalized, it will realize the leap from personnel delivery to equipment delivery of naval transport helicopters and enable amphibious operation groups to have the ability to deliver light mechanized detachments as a whole unit, which will significantly enhance the intensity of the first wave of assault in island acquisition operations. One, for example, in the scenario of the Taiwan Straits, the batch takeoff and landing of multiple Z-8Ds can quickly deliver battalion-sized combat units, which, together with the fire support of the Z-20Js, will form the tactical advantage of 3-dimensional landings. However, it must be realized that even if the Z-8D is successfully commissioned, there is still a significant generation gap in the field of heavy transport helicopters in China. The U.S. Army CH-53K Super Stallion King, nearly 40 tons of takeoff weight and 16 tons of carrying capacity, meaning that its single transport efficiency is equivalent to 3 Z-8L. This gap in the rescue and relief long-distance force delivery and other non-war military operations, especially prominent, and more constraints on the future configuration of the equipment of the large ship's flexibility. China is developing a 35-ton heavy helicopter CH-53K for the standard, but limited by high-power turboshaft engine, an ultra-long rotor system and other core technologies. It is expected to be difficult to achieve mass production before the 2030s. The current transition period still needs to rely on the combination of the Z-8 series and the Mi-171. This kind of medium-sized main, light and heavy convergence configuration can maintain the basic operational needs, but it is difficult to support the oceanic strategic delivery of the grand vision. It is worth noting that the development of the Z-8D is not an isolated incident. The Z-20J shipborne assault transport model revealed at the same time, through the low-mounted short-wing, folding tail rotor designed to adapt to the escort ship landing environment, its multi-purpose mount compatible with anti-submarine torpedoes and anti-ship missiles, showing a very different tactical positioning with the Z-8D. The two are complementary. The Z-8D focuses on heavy equipment delivery to amphibious ships, while the Z-20J is tasked with destroyer anti-submarine and special operations. This combination model not only avoids over-complexity of a single model, but also maximizes mission coverage through platform differentiation. For example, in the carrier formation, Z-8D can rely on the 075 type amphibious assault ship to deliver amphibious combat vehicles, while Z-20J takes off from the 055 type destroyer to carry out anti-submarine alert, forming a multi-dimensional attack and defense system. Observed from the perspective of equipment iteration, the birth of the Z-8D marks the Chinese helicopter industry has broken through the medium-sized platform of the whole industrial chain of technological independence. Early Z-8 imitation is limited by the material process and engine technology. Key components rely on imports, and now the maturity of the turboshaft 10 engine, composite materials, scale application, so that the Z-8D and the power, range, load and other core indicators to achieve intergenerational leap. This progress is especially obvious in the shipboard adaptability improvement, tail beam folding mechanism of precision mechanical design, anti-salt spray corrosion coating chemical formula, shipboard electronic equipment, electromagnetic compatibility optimization. Each technical breakthrough is condensed with the aviation industry's deep understanding of the complex battlefield environment. The urgency of battlefield testing is also accelerating the finalization of the Z-8D. The Z-8 sees formation flight with the Z-20J at the Zhuhai Airshow in 2024. Has revealed the Navy's desire for three-dimensional delivery capability. Its wide cargo hold can accommodate a Bobcat all-terrain vehicle, or a light howitzer, allowing landing forces to quickly establish fire support points after a beachhead. The modular design of the cargo floor can also be quickly switched to medical evacuation or command and communication configurations, realizing the tactical flexibility of one machine, many functions. This flexibility is crucial in modern warfare, especially in the South China Sea island supply, or oceanic humanitarian rescue and other asymmetric combat scenarios. The Z-8D's large payload and long-range advantage will be fully released. However, there are still concerns behind the technological breakthrough. Although the wide-body design of the Z-8D improves capacity, it also brings about a loss of aerodynamic efficiency, and its maximum range may be reduced by about 15% compared with that of the Z-8L. For amphibious operations that require cross-sea delivery, this means a deeper reliance on shipboard refueling or midway bases. In addition, space constraints on the decks of Navy ships require the Z-8D to achieve a more compact folding size, which puts the mechanical reliability of the rotor system and tail beam to a severe test. The solution to these challenges not only requires innovation in engineering design, but also relies on the data feedback accumulated during combat training. The upcoming installation of the Z-8D is not only an important piece of the puzzle for the Navy to move towards the deep blue, but also a milestone achievement of the Chinese helicopter industry. From being rejected by the Army to the three armies, the metamorphosis of the Z-8 family reflects the evolutionary trajectory of China's military industry, from introduction and digestion to independent innovation. When this type of sea, air truck, shuttle in the amphibious ship deck, its significance far beyond the tactical level of the ability to enhance, it marks China has broken through the medium-sized helicopters of the whole industry chain technical barriers for the follow-up of the heavy models to lay a solid foundation for the research and development